this, but there's something on the National Football League calendar called the NFL Draft. And in this draft, Neil, on Thursday night, there's something called the first round.
That's all there is.
You can pick somebody that could help, say, for example, your offensive line. And let's pretend, for the sake of an argument, you didn't pick somebody in that first round. This is like I'm Billy Mays here. But wait, there's more. If you act now, there's a second and third round on Friday, and then there's a round 4, 5, 6, and 7. People want that instant reaction and to lose their mind instantaneously. Neil, right now, today, I'm going to answer the question as Spenny answered. Right now, today, yeah, it's a little concerned. But what happens if they take Tyler Booker in the first round? Okay, guess what? My fears were just alleviated. You take an interior...
The quote from Scarface, I have no more concerns.
Right. By the way, I know what you're thinking. So the rookie fixes everything? A rookie being placed amongst those monsters, yeah, I feel pretty confident. I like his chances a lot better as opposed to being around a bunch of uncertainties. That is still an offensive line that has incredible pieces, and an interior lineman is going to be able to perform better with those incredible pieces around him. So, no, I'm not too concerned about it.
In the super chat, Ryan's reaction just says Abdul Carter. More on him in the NFL Draft Nickel package coming up next, by the way. All right, second down.
Second question of the Lions Nickel package. Would you be upset if they don't get an edge in the first round?
Real quick in the chat, Steve DeYoung. Neil Rule, happy Bourbon Friday. Steve, I know you're one of the OGs. You're in with it. Happy Bourbon Friday to you.
Is this a safe space?
Yes.
This is a safe space?
Trust tree.
I would be very upset if they didn't get an edge in the first round.
Everybody's saying
okay.
And I saw a mock draft yesterday that I would be violently upset if it happened.
What was it?
It was the Lions took a offensive guard out of North Dakota State. I can't remember his name.
That guy's getting a lot of run.
Which I'm cool with. Yeah. If you get a guard in the first round, okay, it's not the end of the world. Wouldn't freak out.
Okay.
But after the Lions drafted that guard, the Washington Commanders drafted Shamar Stewart, the Kansas City Chiefs drafted Mykel Williams, and the Eagles drafted Ozuriku. And I was just like, okay, yeah, you can't let that happen.
Yeah, but that same mock had us getting Nick Scorton in the second round.
Yeah, and
bingo.
That pissed me off even more. But if that pisses me off even more, because if you're going to get an edge, why the fuck would you wait for the second round to get him when you could get a better guard than Nick Scorton is at an edge in the second round?
You know what's funny this year?
But that's just a mock, so I have to remember that.
You know what's funny this year, though, Spenny, and I think you and I touched on this a couple weeks ago. There are a lot of edges that can be had in the second and even into the third round. And the one thing that we have to remember, okay, and this is where I'm going to call out people, and not you, Spenny, okay? Sometimes people have hypocrisy about stuff like this. So do you trust Brad Holmes?
Yes.
99% of the people are going to say trust Brad Holmes. Then you have to remember this is a guy that more often than not is going to go BPA.
Yep.
If Zabel is there, if Tyler Booker is there, and he feels that they are the best player
at
available
that position,
then
I'm in too, Sean. I am.
I'm fine.
Do it.
And so if pick 60 comes around, and maybe there's a guy in that range, there are a few guys in that range, but I'm telling you, one man's opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. I think there's value to be had in the second and third round at the edge position.
Thank you. A lot of edges are going to fall in this draft, and I know Brad Holmes so well that if he selects a guard in the first round, he's probably going to trade up in the second round and go get the edge that he wants.
Bam.
I'm telling you, that's where he likes to get aggressive.
It seems to be a playbook with him,
I'm
does it not?
You,
like we've seen this kind of play out.
You know he likes to do that.
I agree. I'm trust Brad Holmes. I'm do this. If those three names were passed on, I would be very upset.
I hear you.
Especially the places that those names went to. Washington, Kansas City, Philadelphia. Getting 3 of the top 4 edge rushers in the draft as you passed up on them, I would not be okay with that.
I received that.
Really?
So you wouldn't even give it a chance to see his evaluation and see who he liked?
No, I would be extremely upset. And if you
wouldn't trust him.
If you went edge in the second round too, that would piss me off even more.
You'll find yourself in a position though, like I keep looking at Buffalo at number 30. like if there was a prime candidate to try to get some value,
Yeah.
it might be Buffalo because of the scenario that you just brought up. All that value, Philly, Kansas City, Detroit, Washington, all right there in that group. If Buffalo's looking at somebody saying, we need to add something, Buffalo might be the team to pick, especially with some of the value that they have later on in the draft as well. So if there was a team, I know we talk, and KG, you brought it up, we talk so much about the trade down, and I get it. You could even fall back to Buffalo and get a really good pick. Like, honestly, you could still have 30 overall. And, oh, by the way, get another additional pick with that.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to lose my mind if they take a guard first.
Right.
As long as they get that edge rusher in the second
or
or
even
third
a
round.
center.
Tyler
It's
Booker
the
falls
people
to
you take him
28.
over.
You're going to bitch about that?
No,
I'm not.
No.
But if they take him over 3 of those edges, I might be a little upset about it. But
And that's
like I
fair.
said, if those 3 guys are on the board for the Lions at 28, there's no way Brad Holmes passes on.
Well,
all
I
3.
know the arc of Spenny though too on draft day.
Yeah.
Like you'll snap,
But-
like
and
you'll run hot,
the
and then
whole-
as it sets in, then you'll kind of come back
The whole
down.
Brad only does BPA. Brad's going BPA. He only does
That's
BPA.
not true
It's
either.
not true.
Yeah.
You
I
don't
saw
think it is
You
true.
saw it last year.
Yeah.
We literally saw it last year. You're in the same exact situation you are this year that you were last year going into the draft. Last year, you had a glaring need at cornerback in a draft that was extremely deep with cornerbacks. So Brad Holmes moved up to get a cornerback. This year, you have a glaring need at edge rusher in a draft that is extremely deep at edge rusher. And I think even if you're doing BPA, one of those edge rushers is going to be top 3 on your board at the position the Lions are at.
Well, and this goes back to KG's point. This is where I don't rule it out, because if Mike Green or Pierce from Tennessee are there in the early 20s, KG, I don't rule it out.
Exactly. And it also depends on how the board falls. I believe there's going to be a lot of edge rusher talent in that second round as well. But it all depends on how the board shakes out. I don't expect him to trade into the top 10. So it depends on whatever happens in the top 10, and then he makes his moves from
And
there.
Rando Smalls in the Woodward Sports Chat says, so Spenny is a better judge of talent than Brad? Yes. Me reacting to this fictitious mock
like,
draft
come on, bro.
lets me believe that I know more than Brad Holmes.
Don't be
You
the
got
fun
me.
police,
All
bro.
right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the break kind of midstream here, but I do want to say this. I have been disappointed with the draft juice, but now I see it.
Oh, you see?
Not like this one right
kick it
here.
back in.
Now
Yeah,
I see
yeah,
it.
it's my-
We were
We
delayed, everybody.
We here.
But we are back.
This was an overall terrible mock draft. Because not only here we go. I got him now. Not only were those 3 edges on the board when Brad Holmes took that offensive guard, so is Kenneth Grant.
Oh, okay.
You
What
Michigan fans-
What are you reading? Footballtimes.net.org.
ESPN.com.
Who did it?
Matt Miller.
You just got poor drafters in that room. I don't know.
Exactly
Like,
what it is.
Like I said, I wouldn't be mad if Brad Holmes takes a guard in the first round, because I think guard is the second biggest need on this team.
Yeah.
So
I
if
do
you
too.
get a guard, I'm fine with
I
that.
agree with you.
But if you pass over those 4 guys,
it's not lost
Shamar
on him.
Stewart, Ozaraku,
See, and,
Williams, and
God,
Grant,
we're gonna carry this
not
out
a
too
those
chance.
those DLs, that's, again, I think there's depth at the edge position, and I know there's depth at the DL position. You're going to get a damn good defensive lineman in the 3rd round. I'm convinced of it.
And if he likes somebody, he will move up.
Can
That's
I
the
ask
whole
a
thing.
question? Like, what's the? And I haven't gotten neck deep in it. Like
Yeah.
I do a lot of sports. What's the center situation look like? Like as far as the mocks go, because I'm telling you guys,
There isn't. You don't really
Not
draft
a first
centers
round
anymore.
center.
It's just
there's usually one, and they usually
you
play
can-
for Duke.
It's
You're
just
right.
like you know what?
you can do that later.
Yeah.
No.
You know how there's usually one. Usually there's
Yeah,
a center
nah.
from Duke that goes like
I-
30,
listen,
It's just
and then
like-
one doesn't go for
it's
4.
I'm
We'll
not
grab him in
against
the
your
fifth.
logic.
We'll grab him in the 5th.
Yeah, but it's not center or guard anymore. It's just interior offensive.
Yeah, and
pretty
I'm not
much,
against
pretty
your
much.
logic. I mean, you can do that.
You know they
later
play
than-
for Duke.
You have
Wait,
to
you
start.
know
You have to start thinking about it. You do.
Yeah.
100%.
You
Like
really
I
absolutely
like
start thinking about
I'm to the point I wanted a dress.
You got 3 guys that are over their on the back 9 of their career when you look
Yeah.
at Taylor Decker, Graham Glasgow, and Frank Ragnow. And I don't think nobody's saying they're going to retire today, but
And you
It's sooner rather than later.
sooner
And you
rather than
got
later.
Mahogany, you got Manu,
You
who
got
looks to be
yes.
on True. I
Yes.
think they do have a system in place, but it wouldn't hurt to add to that room, especially with Graham Glasgow, who was the biggest question.
I just want a center that played at Duke or Kansas State because it seems like those are the two places where the
that's where
centers
they
go.
were. Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just the way that it is. Real quick, Greg Rounds. I heard Almago is back typed up in Twitter waiting for Baez to hit a home run. He let me down again. Hey, spoiler alert, Greg. My Twitter account got hacked, so I won't see any of them. Ha ha! Tell them about Jar.